New fighting game releases, I guess, make me nervous these days. You see, there's a trend when any game outside of the big three, MK, Street Fighter, Tekken come out, where the game drops. There's maybe 5 to 10,000 people on it for the first week. By the second week, you're down to 1,000, and by the week after that, you might be into the hundreds, and it just gets worse. And so by the time you've committed to learning the matchups, and you've learned your character, and you've learned all this stuff, there's not very many people left to play. And for me, as a consumer, I feel like player population is a big drawing point to me. And that might sound like some Zoomer speak to some of you, because I know you're used to playing small. It's a niche genre, right? You're used to playing with small populations. But for me, playing Street Fighter 5 seems like always a safe bet. You know, I'm always going to be able to hop on that game, click a button, and find a match. And I value that as a player and as somebody who is paying money for a product. And this is going to rub some people the wrong way, but I'm not a fan of going on Discord to find matches. I've had terrible experiences in the past that I've talked about on stream. I'm not going to reiterate it here, but it's just not a good experience for me. And I'd rather just get on a game and press a button. And if I can't do that, I have to rethink whether I really want to play said game, as well as the fact that I want to compete in an already niche genre where the biggest games have 2,000 to 3,000 people playing them. I just don't feel like it's always worth the time investment to grind a game that might have 100 to 200 players on. Because if you take that same amount of effort and put it into one of the bigger titles, you can get much more opportunities in terms of even just making YouTube videos and content, right? But in terms of playing in tournaments and stuff like that, there are certain games that will always be at every single event and will always be run by certain people. There's an element of safety to playing certain titles, I think. That's another thing, is when you go to another game, I'm very guilty of doing this myself. When you go to a game like DNF Duel, or you go to a game like Guilty Gear Strive when it comes out, they will usually start off strong. I think DNF Duel right now has 12,000 people playing it. That's great. The thing is, we crave the comfort of our main game at some point, and we will go back to it. It happens every single release that isn't a new iteration of a previous title. So I guess Guilty Gear Strive wasn't a good example, but I got Arxis on the brain, that's why I said it. That's why with this release of DNF Duel, I've been a little bit more tame on what I've been saying, right? Before, when Strive was coming out, I said, oh, this is going to be my main game. I'm going to switch to this full time. It's going to be the best thing ever. It came out, I didn't like the game, I went back to Street Fighter 5. Same thing happened with KOF 15. I put a little damper on it. I said, yeah, I'm going to play it. I think it'll be fun. I paid for it, played it for 3 hours, went back to Street Fighter 5. This time, I didn't really say that I was going to play it or upload DNF Duel. I just bought it, I tried it out, had a bunch of technical issues with my PC and Streamlabs and trying to get the game to run properly. And to be honest, I put in a refund request. I'm not going to lie to you. And if it gets declined, it gets declined. I'll have the game to play with the boys. Or I'll put out another video on it, and all of this will not have mattered at all. I don't know. I'm human. I change my mind. It's just important to me to see how it performs over the next week, because I feel like your money when you buy a fighting game can be rendered useless so quickly. And it makes me a little bit apprehensive to pull my wallet out now. Not that I won't pay the money, because of course I can make videos out of it. I just don't want to put the time into these titles at some point, you know? I just feel like it's not worth the time effort when everybody's going to be gone in the next couple weeks. And you're probably saying to yourself, like, well, the gameplay is the important part, right? If you really like the game, just keep playing the game. And that's great. That's a great way to think about it. For me, in terms of if I were to rank my priorities when it comes to picking up a new game, one is the gameplay. I have to like how it feels. But a close second is the player population, like I've been talking about. And if there isn't a good balance there, like if maybe I really like the gameplay, but there's 20 people on, I'm not going to continue to play that game. Maybe there's a ton of people on the game, like right now there's a ton of people on DNF Duel, but I don't really care for the gameplay. I'm so about it. I'm not going to go out of my way to grind the game out, you know? I just really feel like I'm in this Street Fighter phase right now, where all my friends have been playing that game since 2016, and now they're tired of it, so they're picking up these new titles. But I'm not quite tired of it yet. I've been playing since the end of 2019, so I've had way less time. And I'm just kind of in that Street Fighter mood, you know? I want to get good at this game so I can be good at 6. And to me, it kind of feels like any other games that I play or pick up are just a detour that will eventually lead me back to Street Fighter 5 and back to where I want to be. The other thing is, like, why would I pick up another game and, like, really grind it out when I'm not even where I want to be in my main game? That's kind of the other big thing that weighs on my mind a lot. And really the only game that's ever made me switch off of Street Fighter and say this is my main game now was Grand Blue. But again, COVID happens, delay-based netcode, there's 95 people on the game. I'm not going to continue to play it, unfortunately. As well as the fact that I feel like I have a good network of people within the Street Fighter community in Texas that I can hit up to talk about the game and play with. So that's another drawing point. It's the social aspect. Hope it didn't upset anybody too much. I know if I did, I'll probably see it in the comments and the dislike bar. But it's my opinion. It's how I feel, and I think that's important to share with you. And I know a lot of you guys play smaller games and old games and stuff. You always comment about it. That's cool, right? Do whatever you want. I'm not telling you how to live your life. This is just, again, my opinion, so don't get irrationally angry with me in the comments. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider subscribing. I'll talk to you again very soon.